Hi.
So, we're doing a Narnia tag.
Apologies for this setup, but Sarah was a dummy.
I have sciatica again.
She hurt herself.
So, this is...
Also, if you hear me clicking, I'm trying to do stuff on the computer at the same time.
Why are you on the internet, though?
Because I need to go to Facebook.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you were going to plug your phone in.
No, I opted out of that because I didn't feel like going back to the bathroom to get the cord.
Okay, that's fair. So this is the Narnia Tag by Meanwhile and Rivendell for the first 7 questions, and then the bonus questions I just kind of came up with myself. So we both like Narnia. I've kind of obsessed over it lately. Oh, Tiffany, you're only half ahead.
Sarah picked this up at the Renaissance Fair this year. It's a little lion head coin thingy. I picked up one too the last time that I went. But you haven't seen mine yet, I don't think. Not in person anyway. I also
didn't bring the ticket.
Yeah, it's in my purse.
So question number 1 is, obviously, who is your favorite sibling?
Susan.
It has to be Susan.
Obviously.
Or Lucy.
Like, in order, I think for me it would go Susan, Peter, Lucy, Edmund. I mean, technically speaking, if we're talking logistically, Edmund's not on the list. At all. But if he must be, he's last. Dead last.
It's a tie, because I really do love Lucy, but Susan has awkward ties.
Lucy is fine in the 3rd movie.
Then again, Lucy also has awkward ties.
But Susan is just better. She's boring in a square, but she's better.
You're not going to have a good answer for this.
Probably not.
What is the most underrated book?
I didn't read the books.
Exactly. I am going to go with The Horse and His Boy, because that's kind of like what they got up to the first time. What are you doing now?
I told you your computer's bugging out.
Favorite Narnian king?
I want to say Peter, but I feel like I need to say Aslan, because, like, he's technically a king of Narnia.
Yeah, he is the king of Narnia.
But, like, if we're talking, like...
People,
Peter, obviously.
Favorite Narnian queen?
Well, thank you, but I don't need you yet. Go away!
Favorite Narnian queen?
Susan!
You can't say Susan for everything!
Susan.
Who's your favorite?
But you didn't answer!
Susan!
You can't say Susan for everything
I
either!
said Lucy for the first one, excuse you!
We all know you didn't mean it.
Which non-human Narnian do you like best? So, like, do you like centaurs? Do you like...
I thought we were talking about, like, a specific character.
I mean, you could, but there's also one that I had put in for favorite side character, so... Favorite non-human Narnian. Or which non-human?
Okay, so, like, this isn't, like, you know, because we didn't really see much of this thing. But it just makes me laugh every time I see it in the final battle of the first movie. Amongst all of these mythical, like, big, bad characters and animals, there's just, like, a boxer in the middle of them all. Just, like, a standard dog. And it just makes me laugh. Because, like, you know, you've got these big, giant buffalo people. And, like, these, like, you know,
Centaurs?
jaguars and polar bears. And just a dog. And it makes me laugh so much.
Centaurs. Which book deserves a movie? All of them.
All of the final ones.
We need all of them.
You can't even see me, I'm sorry.
No. What is the one thing you did as a Narnia fan you do not regret?
I don't think I've done anything.
I've rewatched all of the movies several times in a row.
I mean, I've watched the movies more than once, but, like...
and that was where her original tag ended. So then you get to move on to my questions.
You cool?
I'm reading. Which movie do you think was the best?
I like the first one.
first one
obviously.
is clearly the best. In my
But I
personal
really
opinion.
like the ending of the final one.
Mm.
I really like the sentiment of it.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I didn't care for the third one as like a whole movie because, well, clearly there was no Susan.
Susan was there a lot.
Like
more than
she was
Peter.
there for a flash thing.
Susan was there a lot more than Peter was.
She was in like one scene,
She had like
writing a letter.
She was in like 3 scenes. It's fine.
One of them, she wasn't even Susan. She was Lucy.
As Susan.
Doesn't count.
It
That
does
does not
count.
count. That does not count. You can't just take Anna's face and pretend that she's Susan when she's Lucy.
Favorite side character?
Badger.
Badger. Really? You wouldn't go with Rivendell?
I like Badger, and I like the Beavers.
Mm.
I really like their, like,
Alright.
you know.
Alright.
I did like Rippacheep, but
Clearly superior.
You know.
We have differences. That's fine. We'll argue later. Who do you think is the best villain? They have quite a few villains in canon.
none.
You don't like any of the villains? You don't have a favorite. You don't have one that stands out.
They all stand out, but I don't like them at all.
There's the White Witch. There's
Girl, I'm well aware of how there is.
Uncle, book knowledge. There's the Lady of the Green Kirtle. There's Null.
I'm well aware of who there is. I just don't like any of them.
Okay, the White Witch is clearly superior out of all the villains. Favorite quote?
The quote at the end of
That
the third
doesn't help
movie.
me at all. Hold on.
It's where they're getting ready to leave Narnia for the final time, and they ask if they're ever going to see Aslan again. And Aslan's like, no, it's time for you to leave. You can't be here anymore. And then he's like, oh, well, you know, how will we remember you? And it's like, oh, well, you see, I'm in your world, but by a different name, and you have to get to know me by that name. I like that quote. That's not the way it goes, but that's the gist of it.
Recently, my cousin has attacked me by posting a quote from Narnia, and
Fair
it
enough.
was along the lines of once a king and queen of Narnia, always a king or queen of Narnia, but it was, you know, the one from the first movie where it's, to the glistening eastern sea, I give you Queen Lucy, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I'll go with that one because I've been attacked recently.
So just the introduction of them all.
I like once a king or queen of Narnia, always a king or queen of Narnia. I also like about the part where it's like until the stars rain down from the heavens, because at the end of the last one it does do that. Favorite scene in each movie dash book?
I don't know anything about the books.
Well, then you just use the movies. I have the books, I just haven't read them yet.
I don't know why, but I think outside of The Crowning, which I'm
Yes.
sure is what you're going to go with for the first
I
one,
do like that one a lot.
I really like when it's a flash forward and they're riding through the forest
Mhm.
as like their grown selves. I don't know why I like that, but I do. The second one, I really don't have one for the second one. I have blocked out that movie as well
Caspian.
because it's Caspian. He follows me for my own phone company. That's bad
fine.
enough.
We love it.
I do not.
Yes, we do.
And obviously my favorite scene from the third one is the ending scene.
Not my favorite scene, but the one that popped up in my head was when they were trying to cross the frozen river and Mrs. Beaver's like, "You've stolen second helping, savage you. With your cooking, it might be my last." I just feel like that's a really...
See, that's exactly why I love them so much.
It's such a...
That is a
realistic
maniacal
argument.
laughter from Becky, by the way.
Second movie? Probably when...
See, this is the issue I wanted to avoid.
Well, then go back and get the stupid cord.
It's too late. I can't close this out now.
The second movie is definitely at the end. Whenever he gets his tail back, Rippacheep gets his tail back. I like that a lot. And then the third movie, probably, like you said at the very end, where you have to know me by my other name. Which gift from Father Christmas would you have wanted? So out of the first time. You have the sword, the dagger, the bow with the arrows, the healing thing, and then the horn. Which one out of those would you prefer to have?
I feel like from a logistical standpoint, the healing potion is the most useful.
Yeah.
But like it'd be pretty dang cool to take that bow to the Renaissance Festival.
That bow at the Ren Fair would be awesome.
That'd be great.
But I feel like the horn is probably most useful. Always be able to call for help and know it's coming immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with the horn.
Sorry, I'm trying to take my lid off.
2 more questions. If you could travel to Narnia, what part of the timeline would you like to visit?
The one.
Which one?
Let me finish my statement.
Which one?
The one, I think it's where, in the first movie, Susan and Lucy are at the lake.
Yes.
And, like, the flowers are, like, dancing all around them.
Uh-huh.
That scene.
So you want to go to that in particular?
Yes.
While the White Witch is still very much alive.
I don't care.
I don't know. Even though she's still alive, I kind of like the idea of traveling to the stone table right after all that happened.
Look, it's fine. I have Susan. Susan will protect me.
Susan is not going to protect you. She was up a tree. And last but not least, what would you do if you met Aslan?
I don't know, man. I'd probably...
Girl, I can't even see your face.
I'd probably be concerned as to why, A, a lion is on the loose, and B, he is sentient.
Alright, we'll hug him. I don't care if he's a dangerous cat. I want to hug him.
You would hug a danger cat if it wasn't Aslan.
It still counts. But yes, those are the questions that I have, and now I have to go lay down because I'm hurting.
Okay, bye.